Hey, what's up guys? I'm Mr. Underscore Tech 108, aka Xavier Goldman. I'm back in another devlog. Today we're going to be, we're not going to actually get into as much progress as normal. And rather, we're going to focus more on aesthetics and really try to fine tune the look of the game. But first, we're going to be starting off with attempting to change the crash detection system to check the difference of speed between 300 milliseconds ago and now, rather than just the speed on impact. I got this idea from a viewer on the last video, so shout out to them. Sadly, I could not figure it out for the life of me, and ended up just leaving how it was until I can do more research and find a better way to do it. I might try storing the speed at impact, then wait 300 milliseconds and check the speed against the initial speed, which may work, but I'll have to wait for a future devlog to see if that actually works, because we're going to be switching over to the improving aesthetics, starting with the fog just right, starting with getting the fog just right by changing the scattering, color intensity, etc. Even after this devlog though, I'm still not completely happy with how it turns out, so I'm going to have to come back probably next devlog and figure that out so I can make it look a lot better. Because as you can see, I'm playing around with different settings so I can kind of fine tune everything and make it look like the futuristic neon midnight setting that I'm really going for. I have actually a game that I kind of got the vibe with in Unreal Engine 4, so I might try to go back and see really what I did with that. The biggest problem with this fog is that I don't really know how to work it, and since I'm so new to the engine and especially fog, I still have to, it's all trial and error. I'm debating on actually just taking out the fog and just doing lighting and everything, but that's going to stop me from being able to hide the fact that I'm loading in the next map piece. So I'll either have to change the spawn gate to earlier in the map piece, which I don't think will be enough because you'll still be able to see it spawn in, or I'll have to in some way make the map piece longer, maybe chaining them together, spawning multiple at a time, something. Which, sorry for the pauses in the video. As you can see right now, I'm just using online resources to help me play around with fog and try to achieve similar but effects to what I'm seeing online, but in my own way that fits the game better. As you're able to see, I'm messing around with the sun, deciding to give. I decided, I think right here, in a little bit, I'm going to be giving it a blue light rather than this orange sunset, because I felt like the blue light matched the neon vibes a lot better than this sunset did, even though the sunset is pretty cool. And I kind of, in a moment you'll be able to see, I kind of took a break from working on the lighting so I can actually add lights to the vehicle. I think you're going to be able to see it in a moment once I get past changing the lighting to to this blue. So I'm just still messing around with it, seeing if making it more orange helps, because like the lighting on the street lamps is orange, which I'm going to actually be talking about in a moment, because lighting with the street lamps is a big problem with the fog. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself, so I'm going to let it catch up to kind of where I'm talking about, so that I'm not just talking about stuff and you guys have no visual. Which, while we're waiting, let me know, should I make these devlogs shorter? I feel like, yeah, I looked at some statistics, or some like analytics, and YouTube is saying the first 30 seconds are the most important in my videos right now, so obviously it's way too long. But should I do maybe a 10-minute or maybe even just a 5-minute one and really speed these videos up, or cut them up? Because really what I'm doing is I'm taking what I'm recording and speeding it up by 3 times speed, so maybe I could do 4 or 5. But right now I got the blue light in, and I'm just changing how light or dark the sun is. Now this is way too light, but I'm just trying to play and see if I need to go lighter, or if I need to go darker. And I think I went on more of the darker side, as you can see there. So now we've kind of caught up to where I'm at thought-wise. But I realized that one of the hardest things is being able to see the cars, and truly in like a nighttime setting, the cars are gonna have lights. So we're gonna add some rect lights, or what they called, or what they are called, and I'm just trying to fix the settings so that they match up with where the lights are on the car, and so that they shine like normal lights and not like a spotlight or anything like that. Speaking of spotlight, I do end up using spotlights for the character just because they gave me a better effect. But anyways, the hardest part with this was figuring out how to get, not the NPC cars, but now that I'm over at the main character, figuring out how to get the main character's lights to go farther, because you can see it's not that far. Like it adds light, but you kind of outrun your headlights in this, and I did not want to do that, so I was trying to get it playing with intensity, playing with anything I could to make the lights shine farther, not brighter, but farther. And I just, for the life of me, I could not figure out how to do it with rec lights, and I ended up going to spotlights because they gave me a better effect, and they actually have a setting for how far. And maybe that's what this barn door, there's a barn door length that will give me the same effect, but who cares. I did it with spotlights, and at least for now I'm happy with the results, especially once I go back to the NPCs, because I give them rear lights, which end up, I'm actually pretty proud of the rear lights. I went through a lot of trial and error, as you're going to be able to see, but we're in another break. So I should probably take this to talk about kind of the goals of this game as I'm fiddling around with this. But so through working on it, I kind of have realized that I kind of took on a little bit more than I could chew. I thought it would be easy just to spawn in map pieces over and over again, but it makes me deal with a lot of variables that are created while you're playing the game. And as you can see, I keep ending up with an error because it tries to delete cards that aren't there. It doesn't break the game. It's fine. It can handle the error just fine, but it's still an error, and it highlights a bigger issue of me not taking time to do a game where I actually built a level, and rather doing this kind of respawning. And then I'm also, or like spawning, and I'm also working with car physics. So the mix of the two adds a lot of complexity to the game that I maybe was not ready for. But I mean, it's fun. I'll kind of figure out what I want to do with the game, and we'll try to get this to playable where you can have fun, and it will look really aesthetically good. I'm really thinking about taking out that fog and working on some other way to do it, because like with the fog you can't see as well that the cars are spawning in, but I do still feel like the fog takes away from the aesthetic. Now, as you can see here, as we did a jump cut, I end up going with some spotlights, which did a lot better. I was able to give them a distance, and now I did a lot of work with the spotlights but I think I've kind of explained it enough. So now we're going to be moving on to doing these rear lights, and I'm just trying to see if I can just make the physical item glow, which I don't know if it's wrong or if it's the right way to do it. That was just the way that I was trying to do it. It didn't end up working out. If I knew a lot better of how this car model worked, I could do this. But it kind of comes to the problem where if I wanted to switch, I'm going to have to do a lot of work to get new cars, or not a lot of work, but to get a different car in, I'm going to have to place these lights and everything, which it should be fine. It should be mostly copy and paste, but but it's still going to take some work. And now I realize that I should just do them with these rect lights, so I'm just kind of shaping them down to fit in the area of the brake lights, because obviously I don't want like the whole back end to be red. And I ended up playing with this. I ended up changing the intensity way down because I made them way too bright, because in the editor, okay, it doesn't look that bright, but it's because it's not properly built, and so as you can see in the game, it's way too bright. And I had a problem with this. It's kind of dumb. I had a problem where I just kept making the one side darker, and then I realized that it was because I was only working on the one side, and I needed, like, I went all the way down to 1. I'm like, why is it still so bright? And then I realized that it's because I was working on the one light on the left side, not the right side. But as you can see, this is another issue with the fog, is they're getting caught, and it's kind of adding the speed racer effect where the light is getting dragged behind it. Not physically, but there's just remnants left. So I ended up researching, and I found that I can make the lights not interact with the exponential fog, which then I end up taking to use on the lamppost, because the problem with the lamppost is that they turn the streets yellow, and it creates these circles of yellow, as you can see, or these spheres of yellow, which I feel I don't really like at all, and at some points can be blinding and really take it away from the aesthetics. So I end up trying to look at it and see if I can change it in any way. You're gonna see that cut to where I'm working on it now that I figured out the lights, or the brake lights. But the problem with the lamppost is that I made the material glow, and maybe this is why I should be using lights and not glowing materials, even though glowing materials do give it a lot more of a futuristic vibe. Is that I could not figure out how to get it to stop interacting with the fog. No matter what I did, I could not. I tried researching, nothing worked at all. And if you guys have any fixes for that, let me know down in the comments below. But I will probably just go to the street lamp file and add in that light, take away this glow of the bulb, the bulb material glow, and just have that light, because then I can stop it from interacting with the exponential fog, like I did with the brake lights, or I should be able to. I don't see why I can't, because it's just another light, and I'm really hoping it's not just a rect light feature. And if it is, I guess I can honestly do this with a rect light. It would work. I would just have to play with it a lot. But again, that's something for probably next devlog. It'll probably be a part 2 to aesthetics, and then I'll get into, maybe that's devlog 4, maybe devlog 5 I'll get into making the menu and everything, and actually doing like a score system to make this an actual game rather than just an endless driving simulator. Basically is what it is at this point. It's not anything like a game. Like, it's got the foundation, but it's not a game yet. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about with this devlog as we're coming to the end. We still have like a minute left. But yeah, the biggest thing I want to talk about is just working on aesthetics, because this game is a very aesthetic based game. It's not too hard to drive. Like, yeah, eventually it's going to be hard when you have this speed, and right now I don't have any way to ramp up the intensity once you hit your max speed, but it's not too hard of a game to play. It's more, I'm going more for an aesthetic. Like, I want the game to look very good, so you can play it a couple times, have fun. Maybe it could be a mobile game that you play on your phone. I don't know how I do that, but just something you can play with and just have fun. I'm not trying to make a blockbuster or anything like that. But yeah, now we're reaching the end, and I'm still just trying to fix the lamppost. I never did, spoiler alert. But yeah, now we're at the end, so I hope you guys enjoyed this devlog. Let me know how you guys liked it, what you didn't like. And I'm sorry that I had to come out 2 weeks after the last devlog. I think I'm going to do it now where it's going to be every 2 weeks. It just makes it so much easier on me, especially with going through high school. So yeah, sorry about that, guys, but I think it should mean that I don't have to like try to rush it out or anything. So yeah, peace out. Check out my Discord, everything all around me, and especially go check me out on Twitch. It's just twitch.tv/Mr_Tech108. And without further ado, peace out. Have a great night, guys. Bye.